But hey, we got 4 energy tanks, and I played this game 6 million times, so I don't think it's going to be any problem getting through here. Part of the Mega Man style, which a lot of players don't agree with, is I like to use the arm cannon or the Mega Buster in the games where it exists as much as possible. Going through the stages, I really prefer using the Mega Buster rather than switching weapons a whole lot. It's just for particular situations like here to hit these guys really close to the ground that I switch to weapons. So, whereas a lot of players use the arm cannon very sparingly and use the weapons a lot more. I don't think either style is wrong per se. You really can't play the game wrong. As long as you get to the ending, you're fine. We are going to take that life though. So we're going to fill up our 3. Yes, we can fill up right here. Like in Mega Man 3, I almost only used the Robot Master weapons to fight other Robot Masters and bosses, really. But I think with Mega Man 9, learning that game the first time, I kind of relaxed that policy a little bit and branched out a little bit more. But I never really went back to relearn the old games with my new mentality. It's kind of related to using up magic points in RPGs. As a kid, I would never use my magic points ever until I was in a boss fight. And as an adult, now I realize, no, that's stupid. Rydia has 300 MIPS. You need to use them to get your butt through the Sylph Cave. So when I go back and play old RPGs, I use my magic a lot more liberally. But I go back to play old Mega Man games, and I don't have the same mentality. And I'm not really sure why. It could just be that the RPGs aren't muscle memory, the way Mega Man is. Like, you learn the muscle memory in a particular way, and then you don't want to give it up, you know? Quick Boomerang doesn't really come into its own until the Wily stages. It's not really that useful during the Robot Master stages, but it's got a lot of use. I almost died right there. Right, okay, because you see that screen transitions to... God, I did die against the dragon. That's a really embarrassing place to die. The screen there transitions from you moving it forward to being an auto-scroller, and if you're not used to where that overlap is, it can cause trouble for you. Anyway, I was talking about muscle memory. If you already have the muscle memory, it's like really hard to go back and unlearn it, you know? And I was going to try to kill that guy to see if he dropped weapon energy, because you can get stuck here if you run out of 1. If you don't have enough 1 to get past this screen... I did that last time, too. I'm a butt. You can't go all the way to the edge of the ladder the way you can with a platform. The ladder stops being tangible about halfway through its graphics, so right about there is as far as we can go. But yeah, if we run out of 1 here, that's it. You gotta go back and farm weapon energy somewhere. And that's bad. So we're gonna try to not do that. And this time we're gonna try to not get killed by the dragon. Muscle memory plays a big role in this fight too, because it's a really graphically intensive fight, and the NES really has to work hard to get all this on screen at once. So you can see there's a lot of flicker in this battle and a lot of slowdown. And I really don't have a good way to win the fight without the slowdown. Like, I kind of need that slowdown to win the fight. I played this on the Mega Man Anniversary Collection on the PS2, and the slowdown's not there, and I had a lot of trouble with the dragon. I did eventually win, and I beat all the games on the Anniversary Collection, of course, but I remember that dragon fight giving me fits because it doesn't have the hardware limitations that the NES version has. And now that the Steam version is out, that's aside from the fact that the game doesn't freaking work for half the people who try to play it, that's one of the biggest complaints about the game, is that they emulated the slowdown from the NES. And a lot of people disagreed with that decision. They felt that why is this modern version of this game, this quote-unquote HD version of Mega Man, why do we need to have these hardware limitations built in? What's your problem, buddy? And then somebody just kind of hacked the code and found out they're just running a Nintendo emulator with a Mega Man ROM. We don't need this life, but we'll take it. We've already got 4 E-tanks. We got all the drank we can hold. I'll just be sure to fill this, fill up my crash bombs before too much longer. Everybody hates this hallway. Although there's my crash bombs that I need. Nope, it disappeared. No crash bombs? None? Can I at least fill up the life that I keep losing? Yeah, there we go. You see, too, that this is the first Mega Man game that uses what became the standard energy pellet design, the circular energy pellets. Mega Man 1 used these like weird flat ones that aren't quite as pleasing to the eye. But Mega Man 2 nailed it, and they look really nice, and they use those in all the next Mega Man games, up through Mega Man 6, I believe. Mega Man 7 and 8 had different designs, and then Mega Man 9 brought the old school back. You know what, we just do this. I don't know why to do this in the first place. You see what I mean about not having a lot of practice using the various Robot Master weapons? I don't mind using Metal Blade against this boss, because this boss, you're kind of supposed to use Metal Blade. Its aiming property makes this fight winnable. I mean, it'd be winnable otherwise, it's just, it makes it much nicer. Woo! I always thought that these parts of the floor, where the little turrets come out of, should become holes. Like, I shouldn't be able to stand where I'm standing here. That should be a hole that you fall through and die. I remember thinking that as a kid. Because you can basically stand in the middle of this room the whole fight, just throwing metal blades in all different directions and hit all of the turrets anyway. But it's probably for the best that it's still floor. Maybe it used to be a hole and one of the designers said, no, that's way too much of a thing. Actually, now that I said it out loud, I'm almost certain that's not the case. But whatever. I can't imagine like any Nintendo game going, this was too hard for the kids, and then actually changing it. But I don't know. Stranger things have happened. You know, for example, Donald Trump was allowed into the debates. That's weird. These guys can be killed with Quick Boomerang, I think. Yep, 1 Quick Boomerang. I think it's the only thing that damages them. Big old derpy, crazy fish monster, and the only thing that hurts him is the Quick Boomerangs. Then you got hallways like this in Mega Man, which are the stuff nightmares are made of. I got spikes. So many different kinds of spikes in Mega Man games. I mean, you've got the typical, like, pointy triangle spikes. You've got, like, the spur-shaped spikes. We used to call them sand spur-shaped spikes, because as kids, growing up in Florida, in the grass, you'd grow these little sand spurs that are just these sharp little assholes that hang out in grass, and when they're green, they're soft and they don't suck, but after they fall off the little plant they grow on and they dry out and turn brown, then the sand spurs, they stick in your feet and they suck. But at the time, when we were kids, we didn't know what spurs were, so we didn't know that these spikes were spurs. We just, oh, they're sand spurs. And also, as an extension of that, we didn't know the word was sand spurs. It was just sand spurs. Why are you crying? What, you got a sand spur in your foot? I got like 20 sand spurs in my foot, Dad. Get the tweezers. And back to... You know, I could have probably just left the quick boomerang on. But oh well. No Robot Master is vulnerable to quick boomerang. Actually, I think that's not true. I think one of them is. It's just... They're more vulnerable to Metal Blades, so... But yeah, I think Bubble Man takes extra damage from quick boomerang. But you see, quick boomerang kind of comes into its own, into the Wily levels. You fight the dragon with it, you fight the Guts Dozer with it. It's all good, it's all good. What is that little square? You see that little square in the bottom right part of the castle on that silo? I've always wondered what that little square is. Because you can kind of determine... let's go with Flash. You can kind of determine what like every other part of the castle might function as. Like there's a satellite, and of course there's giant bones sticking up out of the ground, because you need those in your Death Castle. You have the giant, like, spiky tower. That's where all the spikes are produced that Dr. Wily dispatches through the rest of the levels, you know. But that little square at the base of that silo, like, what, is that Wily's outhouse? Let's see if I just remember where these holes are. Haha, I didn't even need the bubble lead. Yes, I am in Camp Bubble Lead. I'm sorry, but... L-E-A-D, it's lead, it's a lead bubble. It's a pun or something. Some people say it's the bubble lead. They're wrong. Like, unambiguously, I have no problem saying that that's just wrong. But Camp Bubble Lead is just as passionate about their interpretation of the name as I am about mine. So, who's to say? I'm to say. It's bubble lead. It's very clearly bubble lead. It's a lead bubble. It's a heavy bubble. That's the whole point of the weapon. Oh, but it leads you! No, it doesn't. There's one screen where it shows you where a hole is. It doesn't lead you. It drops to the ground and abandons you in the coldness of nights. Like a jilted lover would. Bubble lead is like a jilted lover. I kind of got Shakespeare a little bit on you. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for this Telly right here, because he... Like, there's just nothing he can do. That's just it. He's just bonered, no matter how you look at it. We didn't ever try to go through this screen without master weapons. We always knew to use the leaf shield here. Thank goodness. And we're going to use number 2 here. I can make this jump. You know what? I'm going to showboat it. Let's just make the jump. Let's just do the jump the way it's intended to be done. Not gonna take the easy way out here. We're going to showboat it a little. I should not have showboated it. I should not have showboated it. I really should have just stuck to my guns and used number 2 there. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. Airman is another one of those bosses that you don't really need his weapon. So if I run myself out of Leaf Shield here, it's pretty okay that I do that. I don't really need the Leaf Shield against Airman. We can just shoot him to death. In fact, if I remember correctly, why did I push a button? I'm pretty sure the instruction manual for Mega Man 2 said that beginners should start with Airman and expert players should start with Metal Man, which I always thought was hilarious because Metal Man is the easier boss by far and the easier stage by far. Airman is one of the harder stages with all the huge instant death pits and all the moving platforms and stuff over them. But I might be misremembering. It might have been the other way around. Maybe they suggested Metal Man for new players and Airman for advanced players. I don't... really recall now. But Airman as a fight is pretty easy with just the arm cannon. Which is a good thing, because why am I using Leaf Shield in this room? There's no tellies. It's fine. Yeah, it's a good thing, because one of Mega Man 2's biggest design flaws is coming up in the next level, which I'll point out. The biggest design flaw is in this level. The boss fight of this level is one of the most hated parts of any Mega Man game ever. The fact that this game can have that part, but still be considered one of, like, the fan-favorite Mega Man game is a testament to just how high the quality is of the rest of this game. But there's a pretty serious design flaw in the level after this that I'll point out. No showboating this time, Brickroad. Just do item 2. Like the wiener you are. And we don't want to take a lot of damage here. I guess it doesn't matter that much. We do have all the energy tanks we can carry. It's fine. Let's go with Flash. So we can try to neuter Quick Man a little bit. I don't know how to not take damage on that guy. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but... don't even need to fight him then. This guy you can jump over his shots, he's fine. But the previous guy in that little hallway, I don't understand how to get past him. Here's the worst part of Mega Man 2, and probably the worst part of the early Mega Man series in general. The wall turrets. I'm gonna use a, an energy tank here. There's just no way. You can't pause the game while you've got a shot on screen. I did not want to fall there. Can I get it? Oh, that's not the right spot, is it? Ah! Oh, it is the right spot. Good, that was it. Okay. Now I can kill both these guys real easy. Yeah, we're going to use an E-Tank here. Almost certainly. We got to go up and over here. Oh! Number 3, please. Please. You have just enough crash bombs. I'm going to actually use the E-Tank now, because I think one more shot might kill me. You have just enough crash bombs to hit each one of these turrets once. And that's the only thing that damages them. And there's no way to refill your crash bombs in the fight. So if you miss one shot, or if you... I'm sorry, you have enough crash bombs to hit each turret once, plus blow up the wall in front of the 2 turrets that have walls. I managed to salvage one crash bomb up in the top left there by blowing up the wall and the turret at the same time. I didn't know that trick as a kid. But basically, if you use crash bombs and the boss kills you, you can't beat the boss. Because you don't have enough crash bombs. You've got to farm up your crash bombs now. Shoutouts to Paul Polomsky for sponsoring this video, and to everyone who makes this channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.